Hello everybody, my name is Janice, and here today I am with Claire, a very good friend of mine, a colleague, and another sacred explorer. And today we are in Malta, and over here we have the most ancient temples in the planet, Mnajdra and Hagar, and they are also our neighborhood. So every time I come back to Malta from my travels, I come here and I really find so much sacredness, and I really enjoy my solitude here, and it's an amazing place for yoga and meditation. Claire, I'm sure you've been here doing yoga and meditations, and how do you find this place, first of all? Why it is so special for you?
Well, I find this space very powerful, very strong energy, and very sacred. And often I come here when I feel really the need to ground, to connect, and to feel myself, fully here in this moment.
I think we are very blessed that we have this place around the corner from us. And funnily enough, I live 10 minutes away from here. But for me, these temples, before I started this journey, they were something more historical, if you know what I mean. And they were not associated in my mind with any kind of yoga or practices or meditation. And it was in Australia, when I was traveling there, that someone told me, "Oh, you're from Malta, you have these amazing temples, and I take tours there for us to meditate." I said, "Wow, really?" So yeah, it's amazing how life is. But Claire, I admire you. One of the things I admire in you is because you were one of the first women in Malta who started yoga when in Malta this doesn't exist, basically. It was not practiced. So how did you get into yoga?
Well, I got into yoga because I was curious about it, and yes, as you said, there was nearly nobody teaching yoga at that time. We're talking about 24 years ago, and I started to have neck pain. Mm-hmm. So that is what brought me into practicing yoga, my neck pain, because I was more a person going to the gym and doing more, more cardio stuff. So when I started yoga, and I remember I found a guy on the newspaper. I found this guy in the newspaper. I went to take class, and at first it was feeling boring, but my neck was getting better. So it was the only thing that was helping me with my neck pain. And then after about 2 years of practice, I started to be more curious. I was finding it to be more beneficial. So I started just for the physical aspect of it, and then it was helping me also mentally and spiritually.
So you could feel the shift inside you. So basically, when you are going inside, you could feel that there's more to yoga than the physical.
Yeah. At some point, yes. When I managed to quiet my mind and be present, yes. Yeah. And then I was curious, and I started to look for courses, and I wanted to go deeper. Mm-hmm. Never really actually thought about being my full-time job, because I was working at the Malta Stock Exchange. So this was something that was bringing me more joy and curiosity in my life. So I started studying, and I took this course, which was about 3 years long. And then I started to teach some classes, a couple of classes a week, with one or two persons, very, very few people.
And now you evolved so much. Now you're busy with yoga. Now it's really full time.
Yes.
Besides getting into yoga, you started then exploring other parts of yoga, we can say, which is also the sacred sexuality. Yeah. And again, in Malta, this was unheard of. And I remember when you were telling me that you were going to start this courses, workshops, I was so thrilled and happy that finally someone was going to bring this amazing topic in Malta, which is so, which can change people's lives. So how did you get into this and your experience in doing these workshops?
Yeah, I started this work with sexuality actually because it was something that I was looking for myself. I wanted to understand and I wanted to go deeper into my own sexuality, moving just from the physical aspect. And I always felt that there was something more to it. So it was around 2016 when I started to do this course, Sexual Awakening for Women. It was with the late now Shakti Manan. And I started to really learn how it feels to inhabit the whole of the body. So it's not just our sexual organs and our womb, and the yoni. So it was just about inhabiting the whole of the body. And when I started to find this to be so beneficial for myself, I started to also look around me, also people who were coming to my yoga classes, that it was something that most people don't know about, even about our womb and the power that we hold within us. So it was something that a lot of people don't know, and I wanted to share this knowledge, because I believe that knowledge and whatever we're looking for is within you.
Yes.
And to have this knowledge and inner wisdom can really empower us.
And that's what sexual energy is about, is that inner wisdom, is that chi, prana, the life force energy, which is in us. And for some, it's just the sexual energy of the physical, but actually it's not.
Yeah.
And it's so empowering when you really get to know and you feel it. And you start kind of exploring it and reflecting on it from this space.
Yeah, from the inside out.
Yes, from the inside out. Even when we had these discussions and I came to one of your amazing workshops, Womb, the Armoring, it was so powerful, to work with the women. And it was such an experience to feel the inside, feel yourself with the breaths and with the dances. And it was, it's still there in my heart, this workshop. So, you started the yoga, you started the sacred sexuality, and then now you are into the nervous system.
Yeah.
And again, I'm enjoying so much our conversations. I'm learning so much more about myself and the nervous system and what's doing to us in everyday life.
Yeah.
And so now, Claire, how are you combining yoga and the nervous system with somatic practices?
Yeah.
What's your take on this?
Yeah, I think along my journey of learning myself and teaching, I started to connect more to the body. So I started to understand that yoga is not about how you look in the pose, but it's more about how it feels to be within the pose. And when you start to go within your body, there is this curiosity to start to understand why I have this emotion, why am I feeling like this today? What is the energy that is moving within me? So I'm a very curious person, I think, and I'm very curious about what my body wants to teach me and what my body wants to show me. And that is why I started to create a style that's called Yoga of Embodiment, where I combine, this ancient wisdom of yoga with modern practices like somatic practices, and also working with nervous system regulation, because our autonomic nervous system actually is extremely important to understand. I feel that it should be something that we should learn at school, because our nervous system creates our story. Our story of life. So what we feel, our thoughts, our emotions, what is happening in our body, everything is related to our nervous system. So finding ways of understanding what is happening within you, and finding also practices like yoga, like breathing, meditation, movement, somatic practices. There are like a lot of tools that one can use on an everyday basis. So we can start to have more awareness and become more empowered, because as I always say, it's like wisdom is empowering. And I love to teach or share or support people in becoming more empowered, so they can have these tools that they can use on a daily basis, because this work is something that should be done. Yeah,
I really loved it.
On a consistent basis.
Wisdom is empowerment, and it is empowerment because same here, you know, like you, I was always curious, and I think we started this journey at the same time. And yeah, when I started kind of to get to know about my body, working with people and the nervous system and communication, it started to all, you know, get together. And this is why I love these holistic therapies and to explore, you know, holistic practices, because we are combining the mind, body, and soul. And the more we know, the more we research, the more we reflect, the more we are curious. I love this word, curious. The more we can, you know, be part of the daily life, but with more awareness, maybe compassion, love, and more peaceful, I think.
Yeah.
So, Claire, before we conclude our lovely meeting here, if you would like to share more about your sacred online sanctuary, yes, the Embodied Voyage.
Yeah. Well, the Embodied Voyage is an online sanctuary that I've created approximately 3 years ago, just before COVID hit. And I created this at first with the intention of supporting people in having a daily practice. I can practice every day because I really believe that it's very important to have a consistent practice. And I know that a lot of us are busy, and maybe you can go to a yoga class or a workshop or a retreat. Maybe you can go to a class once a week or twice, but this is something that we need to practice more often. So this was one of the reasons why I created the Embodied Voyage, to have the comfort to practice in your own home whenever you need it. Along the years, it evolved to include a lot of practices related to nervous system regulation, somatic practices, and also working with our emotions and how we can manifest the reality that aligns with our truth. Because what is our truth? Our truth is within our body. And we live so much far away from our body.
That's true. The truth is within our body.
So the practices are all aimed to guide you within your body, to connect you to who you truly are, beyond what everybody else tells you, and to come home to yourself and manifest the reality that is aligned with your heart.
So for me, I'm looking at the temples here and listening to you. It's like you have created an online temple.
Yeah.
Because this is what used to happen in the temples here, you know, years ago. People gathering here and be together and do all the practices. Yeah, and
it's so sacred.
Yes, and nowadays there are the online temples.
Yeah. Beautiful online sacred communities.
Yes.
Which is beautiful as well.
Yes. Claire, thank you so much.
Thank you, Janice,
for sharing this experience with us. And I'm sure, you know, now I will be traveling to India sometime next week, but I'm sure me and you will be in contact. And with our curiosity, I'm sure that the next time we meet, the interview will be evolved into something else. Let's see what you are going to create.
Yes.
And I wish you all the best. And the last thing, where they can find you?
Yes, they can find me. I have my own website and the embodiedvoyage.com. So we can also leave a link under the video. So, yeah.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
And namaste.